Hello there, another beer review. This time it's going to be Grolsch Premium Lager, which is, along with the Heineken family of beers, is the most popular beer coming out of Holland, so the most popular Dutch macro lager, if you will. This one is a can, as you can see, 500 mils, 5% alcohol, no surprise here, of course, and it's probably the worst you can get. I mean, it's much better in the bottle, but I have to admit that I've never actually tried Grolsch in the bottle, so I don't have anything to compare this with, so I'm definitely going to try the bottle sometime. But nevertheless, I've got the special Grolsch glass, which I use a lot for other beers, but I actually got this with a 4-pack of cans, which is really a sweet deal, really, and it holds pretty much a pint. So without further ado, let's pour this one in. It's not a cheap kind of beer, but it's nothing too pricey, I guess. The good thing about Grolsch, I mean, if you like European macro lagers, and you can find this pretty much anywhere. And one of the other, bottling bottle or can, it doesn't really matter. You can find either somewhere. In Quebec, it's sold in all 3 versions. So you get the can, we get the small 330 ml bottles, and we also get the swing top bottles, the larger ones, which are said to be the best ones. Okay, so pour this one in. So yeah, pale golden color. I've managed to get a huge head on it, but certainly not the way it's supposed to do this. But nevertheless, the head's coming down. This is typical for this certain type of beer, and I've heard people say it's usually skunky, or at least slightly skunky. I can't really sense anything skunky, so I can't really smell anything strong from far away. But yeah, so let's see the color. The camera kind of darkens the color, but it's sort of a pale golden color, bordering on actual golden color. So it's I've just reviewed Stella Artois, and this is actually a bit darker than Stella. And yeah, so the head's coming down. As you can see, it's really sort of bubbly, foamy head. So I'll add a bit more and get to smelling this beer. Definitely hoppy, and has a sort of a grassy, herbal smell. But I'd say it's a bit different. It's really reminds you of Heineken a lot. But I guess the smell is a bit more defined, than Heineken. Okay, so let's get to tasting right away. I actually quite like this now. Having had a Stella yesterday, I was about to say, I was actually prepared to say that Stella is a small step up for this, but actually at this point I can't really say this, because it's certainly a bit different. Now I'm getting so the thing is, let's take it down to parts. Let's break it up. The up front, you got a really crisp, hoppy, natural sort of, well, not natural, but grassy taste to it, and then it stays for a bit, and then the finish is a bit rough, actually, maybe because it's a can, but as I've said, I've never tried it in a bottle. Maybe it should be better in the bottle anyway, but it's not too bad, actually. This is something I would recommend. I mean, if you only can find Grolsch in a can, don't hesitate and get it, whatever, it's the same thing. While Stella is quite disgusting in the can, boy. And so yeah, Grolsch Premium Lager. At this point, let me take another sip so I get a sort of a nicer picture. It's definitely a bit sweeter than Heineken and Stella or any other macro Western European lager. And the sweetness mainly comes at first, so if once you take a sip, you get a sort of a sweet scent. A bit, I can definitely identify some hints of corn. I don't know if they actually use corn in the process, in the brewing process, but they didn't really say it anywhere. And all the can really says is Holland's golden age of brewing dates back almost. I'm not going to read this thing. It doesn't really say anything about the beer, but yeah, not bad. At this point, I'll give this about, I guess, 7.6 actually, because I don't know. I feel this is a bit better than Stella actually, and I'm sure if I had this in the can, it would impress me a bit more even. So I'll come back to this and we'll see if my opinion changes. And back in action. What can I say? The flavour is kind of getting more bitter after you drink a fair amount of this. Another thing I have to note about Grolsch, the Premium Lager, is that it's slightly more carbonated than, let's say, Stella and Heineken for that matter. So maybe that was the cause of the huge foamy head at the beginning, and but it doesn't really set it off so much. I guess it's okay, and certainly something people like when getting a sort of refreshment beer to get it slightly carbonated. You know, it's not an ale after all, obviously, and this is a good session beer. This is pretty good with food. So, you know, to do it justice, I could say that it's certainly what it's marketed for. I mean, this is not the Grolsch company doesn't try to go off the way and try to promote their beer as something you know, posh and sophisticated. This is not Stella, obviously. So I give them credit for that. Actually, they deserve more respect. So yeah, 7.6 out of 10. I'm not going to change that. It gets slightly more bits, as I've said, further drinking, but I mean, there's nothing bad. And it's certainly decent out of the can, because I've had much worse tasting lagers coming out of the can. And I guess this can be stored for a longer while than a bottle, because the bottles of Grolsch are always green, so the green glass bottles, and which tend to sometimes go skunky. Anyways, that does it for this review. Thanks for checking this out, and cheers. See you next time.